Hi, I'm Benabel, and this is one video in the Tinkering Bell series on my channel. In the Tinkering Bell series, I showcase my metaphysical and esoteric tinkerings, a practicum based on my particular idiosyncrasies in the craft.
This is Episode 1, Expelling Malefic Attachments. When you walk about this world every day, you can collect dirt and debris on you, which is why showers and baths are part of our routine hygiene. Likewise, there are wavelengths of energy we can't readily detect with our 5 physical senses, but that doesn't mean those energies aren't there. Just like outdoor debris that can cling on to your body, unseen energetic debris can also cling on to your personal auric field without you realizing until you feel that itch or tick. Look down and see that barbed foxtail burr stuck to your leg. Malefic attachments can be mundane, like an untreated accumulation of electromagnetic or EMF wave impact on you, so now you feel fatigued, lethargic, and there aren't any known logical explanations why. If you're empathic or hypersensitive, then your subconscious compassion for those who are suffering could have caused you to inadvertently take on some of their suffering and bring those malefic attachments home with you. And don't even get me started if you're a priest, priestess, member of any form of clergy, counselor, crisis worker, social worker, therapist, tarot reader, psychic medium, or someone who works with people's most challenging energies for a living. If you are not detoxing on the regular, then OMG, my friend, I'm going to be so mad at you. That's like never ever brushing your teeth. You're going to get cavities. You've got to do something like this expulsion ritual at least once per year. Don't be the gardener who spends all day tending the soil, then comes home and pretends like it's a mystery why there's always dirt under your fingernails. Get what I'm saying? In the realm of feng shui principles, atrophic energies, or the more serious form of negativity, what feng shui masters call poison arrows, that have gone unchecked in your living space might be taking their toll on you. And in addition to rectifying those detrimental feng shui situations, you might need a cleanse. Malefic attachments can also be a bit more into the occult and insidious, which you might have invited in intentionally or unintentionally. That's now wreaking havoc on your mental state and even on your everyday life. Intentions, karma, and personal psychology can be powerful too, and maybe something that arises to the level of a hex or even curse is the culprit of a malefic attachment. Evil eye, negative gossip, another's schadenfreude, left untreated, they can become malefic attachments in your auric field. Since the ancient times, in every part of the world and in every culture, astrologers have long told us that certain astrological transits can have malefic effects in our lives. It's kind of like the mystical equivalent to harmful UV rays from the sun. Certain astrological oppositions, squares, malefic conjunctions, or for some even eclipses can send down harmful wavelengths of energy that attach to us. Even if your atheistic, skeptical, rational-based mind can't buy into anything I've been saying, but you do acknowledge fatigue, anxiety, or just what feels like a string of bad luck in your life has been plaguing you and you don't know what else to try at this point to alleviate the situation, then open your mind just a little bit and give this old world folksy prescription a try. Old wives do tell tales, but some of them turn out to be true. I'll start on the date of a full moon. There are so many supporting metaphysical reasons for this, but to sum up, the astronomical polarity created by the sun and moon to the earth creates an astrologically charged energy field at this one moment every moon cycle, and in Chinese Taoist metaphysics, it's when we align with the Bagua trigrams, heaven and lake, for celestial blessings, optimal fertility, but in the interest of a balanced view, it's also when airborne energies are most volatile. Volatility rather than a more fixed state is good news for the occult practitioner, though, because it means easier to control or manipulate. Here's an outline of what we'll cover in this video. On the full moon, there will be a house cleaning, charging of food talismans, and working with feng shui cures, making an aura and space clearing spray for yourself, and a purification bath. Then, through the waning moon period, we'll set up a stone shield near your bed, engage in remedial or detoxifying diet, daily prayer recitations, and 2 more purification baths over the course of the 15-day period. Finally, when it's the new moon and we're wrapping up the expulsion period, we do a full body and auric cleanse, remove the talismans from around your home, and complete that aura and space clearing spray. All right, now let's get into the specifics. When it's a full moon, clean and sweep your home top down. Really do a good job tidying up the place. You can do this the day before the full moon too, if for scheduling reasons the day of the full moon doesn't work for you. You'll also want to prepare what I call an aura and space clearing spray. You will combine 3 pods of star anise, 7 dried cloves, dried lemon or orange peel, selenite, and black tourmaline into a glass mason jar. Here in the demonstration provided, I opted not to use black tourmaline and in its place went with dried orchid petals. In Chinese Taoist magic, orchid petals were used as part of exorcisms and banishing spells. I'm also using a sandalwood bead. Pour isopropyl alcohol or any liquor with strong enough proof over the ingredients. Seal the jar and set aside for the full 15-day period from the full moon through the waning moon phases until the dark moon, which is the eve before the new moon. Here's a full list of the ingredients you'll need. Pause the video here to take notes as needed. The essential oils you see listed there are for later when we complete the recipe on the new moon. Also on the full moon date, prepare Fu sigil talismans for neutralizing malefic spirit energies, 1 for each and every window of your home and every door that leads outside. A full moon charging ritual with the recitation of mantras or dharanis will empower your talismans. Now, admittedly, this is in line with the Chinese Taoist tradition, so if that's not your religious path, you're going to have to work with an energetic equivalent that is aligned with your path. Energy is energy though, so in my view, this specific set of symbolism and ritual is going to work no matter where your religious faith rests. So if you're desperate, then give this method a shot. The specific talismans to use and further written instructions are provided in the description box. Click on the link and download the zip file for everything you need. Count how many windows and doors leading outside you have in your home, and that's the number of paper talismans you'll need to prepare. Tuck 1 copy of the protection talisman near each window and door that leads outside. In Asia, sometimes you see folks posting these talismans visibly, but I like to keep it discreet and tuck them out of sight. You'll only be leaving these here for 15 days anyway, so don't worry if you're not digging the decor. After the expulsion period, you can take them all down and toss these paper talismans with your trash. The purpose here is to form an impenetrable shield of protection and to keep you energetically safe and secure from further atrophic energies or poison arrows directed toward your home. Sidebar: to render the Chinese talismans, you'll need to draw them with consecrated ink. What's consecrated ink, you ask? There are so many different approaches to consecrated ink because ultimately it is empowered by faith and intentions. Here's what I do. Pen, incense, recitation, mist the air with holy water, pass the pen through the holy water mist, recitation, boom, consecrated. Back to the food talisman. You'll be empowering the craft with a celestial petition, mantra, or dharani. Again, all written instructions you need are linked in the description box. Let's say, for instance, I went with the prayer Nan Mo Di Zang Wang Pu Sa for the expulsion period. Then each time I trace over the sigil talisman with my consecrated pen, I'd recite Nan Mo Di Zang Wang Pu Sa. Some equivalents for this talismanic home protection practice might be printouts of Bible passages or passages from any sacred text that you recite as a prayer during the full moon to charge the environment, and then roll up these sacred verses into a scroll to tuck by each window and door. That can be done in lieu of a Chinese talisman. It works just the same. Then every day thereafter through the waning phase of the moon, which means through the 3rd or last quarter moon onward to the black moon, the night before the new moon, or about 15 days. The number 15, by the way, having loads of implications in esoteric Taoism. We'll do a little each day to remove and expel the malefic attachments. You'll also want to acquire a sacred religious relic and keep it by your nightstand. It's just an extra precautionary measure while you sleep. If the faith you align the closest with is Christianity, then this would be a good place to keep your family Bible throughout the expulsion period, or a wooden cross. In some of the esoteric Buddhist traditions, you might opt for a Tibetan dorje or a kartika. The dorje is representative of a spiritual or psycho-spiritual thunderbolt, so it's often found in certain traditions of Taoist thunder rites or thunder magic. The kartika is a ritual knife that is used to cut away malefic energies and combat darker forces. Personally, I feel close to nature spirits, so I might go with a stone such as a dark smoky quartz or a sigil-inscribed plum wood wand. This one that you see here is handmade from the branch of a homegrown plum tree. The Taoist sigils are carved into the wood with a wood burner. Keeping the sacred protection relic as close to your head as possible is a good idea, so that's why a nightstand is optimal. If you've got one of those beds with a headboard, then by all means, place it on the headboard. For me, I do go vegan for the 15-day period. That means eliminating all animal products from my food intake, and I also adopt a Buddhist diet, which means no aromatics such as no onions, no leeks, no scallions, no ginger, etc. However, here I wouldn't say going vegan is a requirement. Rather, what's more pertinent is being ritualistic and conscientious about your diet. Listen to your body and listen to your higher self, your spirit guides, or what feels intuitively right to you. I go vegan for the non-harm aspect and what esoteric Buddhists would designate as the accrual of karmic merit, so that you have more dynamic personal power for spellcrafting. You're building up your own karma so that you can use it and redirect all of that karma that becomes added force into your power of manifestation. In addition, I avoid gluten, and this is for both health and metaphysical reasons, like spellcrafting, where you combine ingredients in a way that alchemically causes those ingredients to transcend innate properties and become something entirely new. Both the culinary and alchemical combination of flour and water creates a particular sticky glue-like substance that, when ingested, puts your immune system on high alert. Your immune system detects that substance as malefic, a foreign invader, and then attacks. For some, especially the more sensitive, collateral damage is the friendly fire attack of your intestinal lining. This causes gastrointestinal issues, skin conditions such as acne, eczema, psoriasis, itchiness, and all forms of inflammation, and also fatigue and anemia. Gluten in large quantities can weaken your body's own lines of defense. In metaphysical terms, this is diverting resources your body has from fighting your malefic attachment and toward addressing the foreign substance, that gluten, your immune system has detected. I think if you want your warrior to fight at its best for you, don't tie their hands behind their backs. So personally, when I'm undergoing a psycho-spiritual expulsion period, I'm going to cut out gluten from my diet just so all of my body can focus on the malefic attachment and not divert valuable energy and personal power toward dealing with the gluten. Unless you've got a medically diagnosed gluten intolerance, normally gluten intake in your everyday diet shouldn't be that big of a deal, especially for healthy immune systems of ordinary strength. But I tend to have a weaker immune system, am physiologically hypersensitive, and so for a 15-day expulsion ritual such as this, I'll go ahead and take out gluten from my diet. In traditional Chinese witchcraft, black wood ear or mu'er eradicates malefic attachments, and even if you don't believe that, mu'er has so many medicinal and healing properties to it that it's worth incorporating into your diet one way or the other. During this expulsion period, I'll make sure to eat more wood ear. I also eliminate alcohol for the 15-day period. Then every day I drink a tablespoon of vinegar, either Chinese black vinegar or just apple cider vinegar, mixed with a tall glass of water. There are both physical health benefits and magical properties to this vinegar treatment. Magical properties agreed upon across many different cultural and mystery traditions, interesting enough. Speaking of water, every day during the expulsion period, I diligently drink a minimum of 64 ounces of clean filtered water per day. Whether you're looking at this from a mundane health perspective or detoxing via traditional Chinese medicine, or thinking about this from a magical perspective where water is a conduit of the Holy Spirit here on earth, getting in a ton of water each day is going to flush out your internal system, health-wise and mystical beliefs-wise. So really be diligent about drinking all that water every day. In addition, every morning as soon as I wake up and every night right before I go to bed, I'll thumb through prayer beads and recite prayers, mantras, short-form Dharanis, or verses of sacred texts, calling upon and prostrating to a higher divine power. Verses from the Bible, Quran using Psalms, the Bhagavad Gita, Dead Sea Scrolls, or the I Ching Book of Changes can be used. Select an exorcistic, purification, or consecration verse that resonates with you and recite it many times daily through this 15-day expulsion period. I'll run through these daily prayers with a set of consecrated prayer beads that align with my faith and tradition, because the prayer beads themselves amplify the power of the prayer and better attune me to that higher divine power. Also, throughout this period, I'm empowering those prayer beads into a personal protection talisman that will help me to ward off negativity in the future. My personal practice is to run through 108 recitations every morning and every evening, but you'll need to figure out what works best for you. Also, I would prefer that you seek out a prayer recitation for yourself because the power of your faith is important. So if I give you a Buddhist mantra and that's not your faith, it's not going to work as well as a psalm when you're Christian. If you're Taoist, then you're probably going to reach for the I Ching. So when it comes to prayer, the most important factor is alignment with your actual faith. But if you really need a starting point of reference and you're open to hearing about my own path, then here are a few personal recommendations. In esoteric Taoist applications where the I Ching is used as a sacred text for exorcistic rituals, any number and arrangement of prescriptive verses from the Book of Changes could be used. Typically, there will be strong yang energies involved and the depiction of yang overpowering the yin. Hexagram 30, for instance, could work, especially timed to the autumnal equinox, or hexagram 51 if one is a practitioner of thunder rites. Yes, 51 is yin dominant in lines, but let a magus of Taoist thunder magic explain that one to you. Or as I'll be recommending for general uses, hexagram 35. Here's how you do it. The relevant verses for expulsion are taken from hexagram 35 in the I Ching, using the original verse in Chinese as presented on the screen. An English pronunciation guide in pinyin is also provided. Repeat that several dozen times every morning and every night while thumbing your prayer beads. You then close with what is equivalent to an Amen, or so mote it be. These esoteric Taoist principles and others are explained in greater detail in my book, The Tao of Craft. Here, appearing across your screen, is a short-form sutra from the Mahajayamangala Gatha, or the Victory Protection Sutra in Pali. This would be a form of malefic spirit expulsion used in esoteric Buddhism. Psalms, of course, are incredibly powerful, and I'd seriously look into excerpts from the Dead Sea Scrolls. However, this is also beyond the scope of my own expertise, so I can't really comment further, except to say definitely look into psalm recitations. Purification baths consisting of Epsom salt and baking soda also help. I'll take one during the full moon, so the very first day of this cleanse, then another Epsom salt bath during the third quarter moon, and then a third on the black moon, which is that barely there waning crescent moon the night before the new moon. For the purification salt bath, I blend 1 full cup of Epsom salt plus 1 full cup of baking soda and 15 drops of sandalwood essential oil. You don't have to use sandalwood essential oil. There are several different types that correspond metaphysically with purification and exorcisms. So if you're a seasoned practitioner yourself, then you know which to use per your path. Per my path, it's sandalwood. If I don't have sandalwood, then it's frankincense. Lemongrass is another one I really like, but in ranking, sandalwood is my first choice. During the purification bath, I like to light sandalwood incense as well as an amplifier, and to really amp up the purification and detox effects to maximum strength. Now we get to the day of the new moon. So according to lore, by now you've severely weakened whatever malefic or negative force was having a hold over you. Totally and permanently banishing it now should, according to lore and this whole metaphysical theory, be a piece of cake. On the new moon, light a white sage bundle, Palo Santo, frankincense, sandalwood, or a red banishing candle. This is a Chinese Taoist thing. And run it all around your entire body, head to toe. By the way, you can also use that aura and space clearing spray you've made. More on that later, but if you'd like to use that spray here, then by all means do so. My personal preference is a white sage bundle or sandalwood incense. I'm not going to move around with a candle flame inches away from my hair because I don't trust myself around fire. As you do this, repeatedly recite that prayer, mantra, or sacred text recitation you've been using, and as you do so, with the power of your mind, visualize all traces of malefic attachments being expelled from your vicinity. Feel energized, rejuvenated, squeaky clean, the way you feel after a really nice shower, and supercharged. Finally, also on the new moon, you can take down all of the paper talismans you've had stuck to your doors and windows. It's totally okay to toss these in the trash. Traditionally, if a Taoist food talisman has been empowered through invocation of deity, out of respect, you wouldn't necessarily toss it with the trash, and instead you'd bury it. But in this case, it's okay to throw it out because deity understands at this point these particular paper talismans are like dirty used tissue wipes or like the filter in your vacuum cleaner and in theory are full of gunk, so just toss it out. Remember that mason jar of stuff you made during the full moon and set aside? Okay, time to take it out. Strain the alcohol from the mason jar, discard the herbs and stones, and pour into a spray bottle. I like to use amber glass spray bottles. Add in 10 drops of sandalwood essential oil, 10 drops of bergamot essential oil, and 10 drops of frankincense essential oil. Top off with holy water, then shake well to combine. Step-by-step written instructions for the aura and space clearing spray are going to be linked in the description box to this video. As for holy water or how to consecrate your own water, there are so many different approaches. I set forth several in the Tao of Craft, so if that interests you, be sure to check out my book. You are now done with the 15-day expulsion of all malefic forces that had been attached to you, and to boot, your house is clean, plus you've got a nifty aura and space clearing spray. Going forward, be preemptive, and anytime there's that onset of fatigue, energetic weight over you, or for any reason you feel you might have some negative juju stuck on you, spray yourself with the aura and space clearing spray. Now let's review. On the full moon, clean house, charge the talismans, and work with feng shui cures. Make an aura and space clearing spray, and then a purification bath. Through the waning moon period, set up a stone shield near your bed or opt for a religious relic of your choosing, such as a dorje or kartaga in Buddhist traditions, the Holy Bible or wooden cross per Christianity. Put yourself on a detox diet and drink more water, lots more. Perform daily prayer recitations and get in 2 more purification baths during this period. Finally, when it's the new moon, we do a full body and auric cleanse, remove the talismans from around your home, and complete that aura and space clearing spray. Save the spray for future uses to be preemptive and keep yourself clean. Do you have to follow these instructions to the letter? Well, if you're asking me to prescribe you something, then as a metaphysical practitioner, I am going to say yes, please try. But in reality, if you know what you're doing and you're a practitioner yourself, then of course you can mix and match, modify, and work within the constructs of your own personal gnosis. For some of you watching this, everything I've said will make sense to you on some intuitive level. For others, you're going to think I'm nuts or eccentrically religious in some old world folksy way. If you watched this video all the way through to this point, then clearly you've done so because you're looking for some kind of an answer to a question you're secretly asking, an issue you've been troubled with. You don't have to buy into everything I've said just because I said it. Take some time to think it through. Think through your own situation and then decide for yourself what needs to be done to get you back up to tip-top condition.
Got a request for a future episode? Tell me what you'd like to see from the Tinkering Bell series and leave your remarks in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and please help support my work by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notifications for all new uploads.
How do I keep track of my work schedule as a corporate lawyer, stay on top of my professional tarot and astrology readings for clients, my book writing schedule, weekly meal planning, and social media content like planning out videos such as this one? With a calendar system that is part day planner and part grimoire. Here you're looking at the 2018 Metaphysician's Day Planner that comes with its own 200+ page guidebook. All the ephemeris tables you need for the year ahead if you're an astrologer or metaphysician, so you always know which days are best for which forms of spellcrafting, optimal dates for business, contracts, academia, love, and social gatherings both per Chinese astrology and Western astrology, all the world holidays including the pagan wheel of the year, and so much more is included in this day planner. You've got to check it out. The grimoire portion of the day planner contains astrological, numerological, alchemical, elemental, color, and Kabbalistic correspondences, all sorts of reference tables for feng shui and the I Ching, tarot, Lenormand, the chakras, gemstones, moon phases, and so much more. Also, your day planner is fully customized with your selection of divinity pages, your birth chart, your 2018 solar return chart, and your name printed on the front page. Details and how to order your day planner in the description box accompanying this video.